My hopes have been fulfilled. The Baloch has come to Bambor. The sight of Bunu filled me with perfect peace. My griefs were all forgotten, and joys sent me their congratulations. Wow, this is Risala of Shah Abdul Latif Bhittai, who was a phenomenal poet, Sufi saint from Sindh, whose poetry is so heartwarming and so effective that when you listen to it, specifically in the Sindhi language, the language of Sindh, which is what he wrote it in, you're definitely going to feel affected by it. Shah Sahib speaks generally on the topic of love. He talks in detail on the Sindhi folk stories, specifically a woman called Sassi and her lover called Bunu, and how Sassi was very affected by Bunu, and it's like Romeo and Juliet, but you can think of it from like the Sindhi version of Romeo and Juliet, right? So Shah Sahib has some phenomenal poetry, man, and I've been going to Sindh since I was like 16 years old. For a very long time, over a decade now. I've been traveling to Sindh every single year. I go to visit one of my teachers there, and listening to my teacher recite poetry of Shah Abdul Latif Bhittai and recite poetry of other Sufi saints such as Sachal Sarmast and all these phenomenal personalities, it really inspired me to look into his work. So this book that I have essentially is Shah Abdul Latif Bhittai's Risala. Risala is a compilation of his poetry, and the original form is in Sindhi, but this has been translated by Christopher Shackle from the Murti Classical Library of India. Phenomenal translation. And Shah Sahib has essentially loads of, like, they're called rags in this, so they have loads of different types of poems, types of poetry that he has specifically for that certain chapter of his poetry. So this one of the rags that I've just opened up in front of me is called Sassi Abiri. This is one of the rags where Sassi, the woman who I mentioned earlier, she would go out in search of her beloved Bunu, and she would go out and search for her lover. And Shah Sahib, he essentially travelled all the mountains and the path that Sassi travelled on to find her lover, and he started writing all this poetry. He started writing all these feelings as if it's Sassi mentioning it. And what he's written is amazing. You know, one of the poems that come to mind from Shah Abdul Latif is that when Sassi was in search of her beloved and she went to find him on the mountains of Sindh, eventually she searched so long and didn't find him, she ended up passing away, she ended up dying. And Shah Sahib says that when she died, the angel of death eventually visited her. And he says this in a poetic form, and he says that Achi Israel Sutti Jagai Sassi. Achi Israel Sutti Jagai Sassi Tidro Rai Dalil Ate Punu Manu Moklio. He goes that Israel, right? The angel of death, he came. Achi Israel came, and Sassi, she was dead. She was laying down, and she woke up. She stood up. She sat up essentially. Sutti Jagai Sassi. She gained consciousness, and she said to the angel of death, because she was so in this search of her beloved, so entangled by just wanting the beloved and wanting to visit the beloved and reach the beloved, she got up and she said to the angel of death, "O Israel, O angel of death, are you a postman of my Bunu? Are you a messenger of my Bunu, of my beloved? Are you here to deliver me a message from him?" Wow. Maybe it's a bit too deep and it's gone over your head, but essentially that's true love. Even when the angel of death comes, Shah Abdul Latif describes that the love of Sassi was so great that even when the angel of death came to visit her when she had died, she got up and she asked if, "Are you the angel of death or are you the messenger of my beloved?" So imagine that. Imagine the love that exists within the hearts of such people. And this book I keep referring back to, it's oh wow, It's honestly, it's life changing, genuinely. Like when you read poetry, if you're into poetry. So this is Shah Sahib says. He says, "The beloved is not found by sitting or by sleeping. He comes to those who weep on the paths they travel." And I wish I could read the Sindhi, and in fact, one of my friends is helping me read the Sindhi, so I'll try this. But one of this verses here is Munja panu a parur sab punji susui. I completely destroyed that, no doubt. Let's just stick to the English. Look for a clue within and search for him in everything. Oh, Sasi. So Sasi is saying, look for a clue from within and search for him in everything. Sift through this great heap and rub the dust on your face. If you follow this advice, you will enjoy a great reward. Because the reward for the lovers, the reward to the lovers is their beloved. The reward for the lover is his or her beloved. The lover wants nothing but the beloved, and everything that comes from the beloved. Shah Sahib says, Mitaya mito gano karo nahe kalam sukut e salam piri sandi parjo. He says that Shah Latif says that greater than sweets and greater than mithai and sweets that you buy on weddings, etc. Never bitter is his speech. Sukut e salam piri sandi parjo. Even silence from the beloved is like honey for us. So everything that comes from the beloved, you've heard about Romeo and Juliet and how Romeo was so infatuated by Juliet and he was so in love with her that the Sufi accounts of Romeo and Juliet, Layla and Majnun, they say that even Majnun went and kissed the feet of the dog that was wandering the street of Layla. That's mad. That is just on a different level. Even the dog that is walking by the street of the beloved becomes beloved to you. So love is a great phenomenon, man. And logic taken out. Where there's love, logic cannot exist. Simple as that. Where there's love, you're labeled ridiculous. You're labeled crazy. You're labeled heretic. You're labeled all sorts of things. But the person who is in love understands that there's no greater reward for me, there's no greater feeling for me than this love that I possess. So I hope that I can continue to recite and read and intake from Shah Abdul Latif Bhittai. You can buy this Risala on Amazon or something. Great investment, man. I can't get enough of this book, bro. Look, I've even written I've written it in English, just to try and understand what he said. Pyale piriyan ji mohiyas met kare. The beloved's cup, which he has made sweet, has intoxicated me. Wow. Beautiful. So that's all for today, man. Shah Abdul Latif. As they say in Sindh, Jiye Latif, Jiye Sain Latif, Jiye Bhitjo Latif. And Waha Shala Jive Shah Latif. And I hope to visit his shrine again and intake the blessings and continue to recite his poetry and inform the world of Shah Abdul Latif and his beautiful, beautiful message that he's given. Take care. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.